Welcome back to another episode of the Amateur Hour Podcast, and it is Crisis Club Monday. We took a week off last week from Crisis Club because it was literally like 5 episodes in storage, ready to go, and I decided that, go for the content that's more relevant to the time. But we're bringing back Crisis Club Monday. Nico is here for his first ever Crisis Club Monday episode.
I'm happy to be here, man.
And we're gonna get right into the Crisis Clubs. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna go with right now the entire NFC East, but maybe not the Redskins because they've won 2 in a row. But the NFC East is the Crisis Club. All of them. The Dallas Cowboys have lost 2 in a row. They lost the Patriots, only putting up 9 points at Gillette Stadium, and they just lost the Bills pretty handily. They are awful against the Bills. There was some bad play calls by Jason Garrett. Dak Prescott. It's clear that when, like I said in the Dak Prescott episode where I taught, the average, that episode, go check that out. It's a great episode. Me and Deshaun have very contradictory points, but Deshaun was talking about how Dak Prescott is a great quarterback. I said he wasn't very good, and I think it showcased a little bit here when in these 2 games against decent defenses where if he doesn't have the receiver wide open, he's not going to be able to make the play by himself. And it's been showcased. 6-6 now. They're still probably going to win the NFC East, but 2 bad losses. I think the coach, Jason Garrett, needs to go. He made some bad play calls against the Bills that ultimately cost them to a degree. The Bills have, I believe, the 19th best defense against the run, but they really underutilize Ezekiel Elliott, who's been one of the best running backs, if not the best, in the NFL right now. 100% Crisis Club. This team is by no means, Deshaun, are they going to wipe the floor with the Seahawks in the playoffs. You are fucking crazy if you think they're gonna torch the Seahawks come playoff time, but we'll have to see. But so far, since that episode came out, my points have aged pretty well. Deshaun, your points have not aged very well because I know you're listening to this right now. So we'll see how they can come back. I said they would lose to the Patriots, then lose one of the 3 from the Bills, Bears, Cowboys. They lost to the Bills. I feel like they can beat the Bears. Feel like they can beat the Rams, and then the Eagles is a toss-up. I feel like they can beat the Redskins. So we'll see. I still think they're going to win the NFC East. But we'll go to the Eagles now. They lost yesterday to the Miami Dolphins. They are up 28-14 and ended up losing 37-31 to the second worst team in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. And that is a big game because that would have put them 6-6, which is the same record as the NFC East leading Dallas Cowboys. And like I said, even though the Cowboys seem to have their number, they still have to play each other in Philadelphia, which is going to be a huge game. And the Eagles have put themselves in a tough situation now. They're going up against the Giants and the Redskins in the next couple of weeks. And I'll get to the Giants. But those are 2 very winnable games. Then you play against the Cowboys. And the Cowboys do not have easily winnable games. So my bet would be the Cowboys still win the division, but this is wide open. And the Eagles blew an opportunity to put themselves.
That's a huge opportunity they threw away.
Because I feel like Cowboys could still lose one of the next 2 games. And the Eagles should win these 2 games coming up against the Giants and then at the Redskins. Huge opportunity missed because the Cowboys have won 4 in a row against the Eagles. So it's still going to be tough for them to win this division. But Crisis Club, you fucked up today, or yesterday. You fucked up against the Dolphins. You cannot lose to the Dolphins when you're trying to push for a spot in the playoffs. But the next on the list, the New York Giants, who are now 2-10. The start of the season, I said they would win between 4 and 6 games, probably 5 games, but definitely not been the case. They just got spanked 31-13 by the Packers. They haven't won since they beat the Redskins 24-3. They've lost to the Vikings, they lost to the Patriots, the Cardinals, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Jets, the Bears, and the Packers since then. Ugly slide. They have a lot of injuries, mind you. Ellison and Ingram, our top 2 tight ends, are out. Sterling Shepard has been out, but he's back now. Golden Tate, who has been pretty good, is out as well. We've had some defensive injuries, but the defense has been really, really awful. The offense has been good in spells. Daniel Jones, I like Daniel Jones still. I think there's still promise in this organization because of Daniel Jones. I like Daniel Jones a lot, but he has to hold on to the football. He fumbles the ball so much, leading to opposition scores. So in tight games like against the Jets, fumbles really cost the Giants. And I'm trying to pull up a stat for fumble leaders this season because I feel like Daniel Jones is either at the top or very near the top. Well, he is at the top of the list.
Oof.
Yeah, he has 10 fumbles that have not been recovered. He has 15 fumbles in total. And next is Gardner Minshew, who has 7 lost fumbles but 12 fumbles. So by far, he has 15 fumbles. Minshew has 12. 10 lost to Minshew's 7. By far the most fumbles. You have to hand it to the ball, Daniel. Danny Dimes has to because he's talented. He can throw the football very well, and I think it will come. But, I mean, it's ugly. I hate watching the Giants right now. The defense is so bad. Redskins, two wins in a row. I'm not gonna count them. I won't go in on this.
Leave them out.
Leave them out.
Have mercy.
I have mercy. But Cowboys, Eagles, 100% credit club. The Giants, I'm just throwing in because I hate watching them right now. And Shermer, I think, needs to go.
You're just saying that that division is just shit. So,
it's weird. It was supposed to be a good division, but the Cowboys, they're gonna lose their playoff game. I think Jason Garrett has to go. This team should be a Super Bowl contender with the talent they have. They have a good enough QB to run with the system of guys like Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott. They have the best O-line in the league, a great defense. I think they, in terms of points against, I believe they are top 3 in the NFL. Just confirming that right now. They are. They're top 4 in the NFL. So they should be doing better. But that's enough. Enough Cowboy slander. We'll move on. Nico, present your Crisis Club of the Week. There's no surprises here.
Oh, guys, I've been a fan of this team my whole life, and I must say this is rather depressing to be talking about. But the Montreal Canadiens are the Crisis Club Monday. We just yesterday they just finished playing Boston, and they lost their 8th game in a row. 8th game in a row. You want to know the last time Montreal lost 8 games in a row?
When was it?
79 years ago. 79 years ago.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's shit. That's it is horrible.
That's 1940.
Yes.
Oh my god.
It is rather upsetting.
Oh my
god. When I heard that after watching the game,
that hurt my chest a little bit. I didn't like Montreal.
I started to cry a little bit because we did our playoff seedings the other day, and I was like, they're gonna make a wild card spot.
I said that too. I said that too. I'm not even a Canadian fan.
Not if they keep doing what they're doing right now. Like, oh my god, you know how many goals they've allowed on this 8-game stretch of losing? How many? 38 goals. 38 goals against. You know, 8 of those goals are actually in one game. That's brutal.
Sorry, that's 4.75 a game.
Horrible. It is just so depressing. And just the caliber of teams.
What I was about to say, yeah.
That they've been losing to is not good. The only 2 that you can look at and be like, sorry, let me go on the list.
Yeah.
It starts off. So we beat the Capitals. You know, wow, we beat the Capitals. That's pretty good. We're probably a pretty good team. Just kidding. You lost them to the Jersey Devils. Can't get much worse than that, right?
Bounce back.
No, it's okay. But we have the Blue Jackets. We'll be fine. Nope, you lose to the Blue Jackets. You allow 5 goals, actually, against the Blue Jackets. Fucking upsetting. It's okay. We'll bounce back. We have Ottawa. Nope. You have the Rangers. Nope.
6-5 to the Rangers.
6-5 to the Rangers.
And
then you're like, you know what? We haven't been on a good stretch. We probably shouldn't play a good team. Here comes Boston, who just gives us an 8-1 slap, just laughing. Pasternak just has a stick in our face, just laughing his ass.
You got a hat trick?
You got a hat trick.
Wow.
And then who do we lose to again? Well, the New Jersey Devils, of course.
The second worst team in the NHL, New Jersey Devils.
And then Philadelphia, and then Boston. And their next team that they're playing against is the Islanders.
And then the Avalanche.
And then Colorado. It's not looking 10 games in a row. Why not, right? Let's lose 10. Like, it's brutal, man. And like,
at least these next 2 games are at home.
That's the only good thing going forward for them. You look at their injuries, and it's just not helping either. They've lost Jonathan Drouin. I don't know if there's a timetable on him. It's just still not looking good ever since Ovechkin blew him up. which honestly explains a lot. Ever since we lost Jonathan Drouin, we went on this 8-game losing streak. But
I mean, you've allowed the second most goals in the NHL,
yes.
96, bested only by the Red Wings, who have allowed 115, and they are by far the worst team in the NHL.
Yes.
Like, I mean, they're a crisis club every day of the week. There's no point of talking about those guys.
It's like the fact that our comparison is the Detroit Red Wings.
That's scary.
Is scary.
Yeah.
It's like the defense is so bad, and like, yes, we don't have Victor Mete, but Victor Mete is not someone that's going to stop 38 goals. Like, that is a problem.
What is it in this run? Like, why? Like, you're not scoring a ton, but what is like the key factor in this 8-game losing streak?
It is the defense. The defense is just horrible. It's been so bad. I don't have a problem with their coach. I actually really like the coach. I think Claude Julien has done a pretty good job with Montreal. But it's just, you lose Drouin and you lose that offensive threat that you had up front. It's bad when Thomas Tatar is your top point leader. Not that Thomas Tatar is a bad player, but he's no superstar. He shouldn't be the
best on your team.
He shouldn't be the best on your team. People had expected Max Domi to drop off, and he has, but it's just, you lose Jonathan Drouin, and all of a sudden people just hone in now on Max Domi, and players like Brendan Gallagher and Nick Suzuki, Joel Armia are going to put up decent numbers, but they're not going to win you games, and that's the problem. So you need your defense to step up, and it's just not happening.
It's Shea Weber by himself.
It's literally, yeah. I'll give credit to Jeff Petrie. I think he's been good, and so has Ben Sherrod. I think they've been okay, but as far as actually leading the defense, it is Shea Weber. Like, the other guys can help.
He's a Norris candidate.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like you have Shea Weber, who's just a stud, and everybody else is just falling apart. And just, I think PK Subban said this after the New Jersey Devils game. Obviously, PK Subban has a good relationship with Carey Price, and he goes, you can't blame Carey Price for this stretch at all. If you watch every goal down this whole period that has gone in against Carey Price, none of them are low-quality chances. They're all high-quality. People are just lighting him up because they keep on getting such good chances against them, and the defense is not there to help. And it is embarrassing. It's so bad. And this, we just finished talking about it. They better go in on Taylor Hall, man. You need something to change there. You need some sort of offensive threat, because right now you have nothing. Like, it's so bad when teams can hold you to like 2 goals a game. Like, how are you only scoring 1 goal against the Ottawa Senators? Like, that's a joke. Like,
that is a joke.
It is an absolute joke.
This was your easy run too. This was
supposed to be our stretch that we make a push and maybe hit number 3 in their division. You know, like it's
unlikely.
That point. Unlikely, but if there was a stretch of games in which Montreal could have slipped into 3rd in the division with Tampa Bay not playing well and Toronto not playing well, although Toronto started to play well now, it would have been now. Mm-hmm. But instead, we have lost 8 games in a row. I would not be completely dumbfounded if it ended up turning into 9 or 10 with the Islanders and Colorado coming up next. Something has to change. And I don't think it's going to be coaching. I think it's going to be players are going to get thrown around. I think we're going to see a trade. I hope they bring in Taylor Hall. I think they need to bring in Taylor Hall. Montreal's an organization that just demands winning, and they didn't make the playoffs last year. I believe they didn't make the playoffs the year before. Montreal is fucking hungry just to be in the playoffs, and
you only have them in the wild card spot.
I have them in the wild card spot. I actually had them at number 7, and that was stupid.
We said that when they're at the 4-game mark.
Yeah, well, it's at 8 now, and it's depressing. And it's like, how much can you blame it on just like Jonathan Drouin being out? You can't. It needs to change.
You talk about Taylor Hall. I think Taylor Hall I think Montreal's the best suitor for him, along with Colorado, like we said in that episode. That was yesterday's episode. Go check that out. You have to listen to it. But who do you think? I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who do you think Montreal trade to get? Who do you think they offer to get Taylor Hall?
Oh, who do they trade? I think
it's gotta be a first.
It's gotta be first, and I think a guy that we can trade that I think they would actually be interested in is Ryan Poehling. For those of you who don't know who Ryan Poehling is, Ryan Poehling came in at the end of the year last year. He actually scored a hat trick against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He was a good prospect. The only reason he didn't get brought up this year after training camp was because he was battling a little bit of injuries. So they've kept him in the AHL. He's been doing pretty well down there as well. It'll definitely be a first round, and I think Ryan Poehling will go just because I don't really think I think it's a piece that they're willing to get rid of in order to bring in Taylor Hall. I really don't see any other younger pieces that they have to sort of trade that they'd be extremely interested in. You're not giving up Suzuki, you're not giving up Cole Caulfield, and you're not giving up Kotkaniemi. So the next best option is probably Ryan Poehling, unless they give up like a couple of other just random younger pieces. Yeah. But I think it'll most likely be Poehling in a first.
Do you think they need to bolster their defense as well at the trade deadline? Or by the trade deadline, I mean?
Oh, 100%. If they don't help out this defense, I think they're going to struggle a lot down the line. I think a lot of it does ride on Victor Mete coming back. Victor Mete has been very good for them. But even then, like, Cale Fleury, who's pretty young, just doesn't seem to get a handle on it. I think he's been kind of caught with the adversity of playing in the NHL. I think he needs a little bit more time to develop.
Yeah.
And that's why I think if you're going to make an actual push, you need to bring in some veteran presence in the back other than Shea Weber, because it's just not working back there.
Okay, he's being hung out to dry a little bit.
He's
second highest in your team in points.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. Like
there's a lot of help needed for Montreal. Mm-hmm. Definitely crazy. But we'll move on. The last crisis club for this week that we'll talk about. They've been on it before, and they probably will be on it again. Manchester United. They had an awful week. Started like I'm gonna bring it all the way back to the Sheffield game.
Oof.
They were down 2-0 at Sheffield, and then within like a crazy 10-minute span, put themselves in a winning position, up 3-2. 90th minute, they let Ollie McBurney score to tie it up 3-3. And though I condemn, like you know, good on them for coming back, making it 3-2. But when you get that lead and you fight back to get that 3-2 lead, you gotta keep that lead. And the defense was poor in that game, especially on that last goal. Very poor goal to concede. The first goal as well, Phil Jones got absolutely muscled by Elise Mousset. That can't happen. Third goal, Ollie McBurney afforded way too much time, brings it down, smashed it in from 5 yards out. It was a handball in the build up to that goal. But I won't talk about that too much. That goal shouldn't have counted. Anyways, midweek, Astana, who were rooted to the bottom of our Europa League group, Group L. And we're up 1-0. Everything's going okay. We had a great first half. I watched the whole game. Great first half. Coming to the second half, Astana all of a sudden starts going the ascendancy, which really should not happen to Astana, who you may not have heard of, a team from Kazakhstan. And right before Astana make it 1-1, Tahith Chong, I don't know if you saw this miss.
No.
Luke Shaw squares it to Tahith Chong, who has a wide open net inside the 6-yard box. And if you're listening, you haven't seen it, go watch it, because he skies it. Go watch it right now. I'm going to talk for a while.
Yeah.
Tahith Chong skies it from 5 yards. The ensuing play, Astana go the other way and make it 1-1. 5 minutes later, it's 2-1. And to be honest, Astana deserved everything they got from that game, because they were all over us in the second half. Mind you, we did play a young team because we already locked up a spot in the next round, and it is Astana. You would have thought we could have won. And the first half was great. I thought the young guys were good. Some new guys getting their debuts like Levitt and Laird, and this is another player. His name's not coming to me right now, but he was playing San Marcos Swanzab. I thought he was okay. He did score an own goal, unfortunately. Not his fault. It was Bernard. Not his fault, but he did score an own goal. But again, not good enough. And what really, really infuriates me is that after the game, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer talked about how well the team played, and I think it's embarrassing to lose to Astana. I don't care if you honestly, any sort of result, you could have had the best game of the season. You lose to Astana, it's not good enough.
It's not. They
lost all 4 games. You put yourselves in a situation where you have to beat Azad Alkmaar, or you got to tie them to win the group, which in theory should happen, but it doesn't end there. They go to. Did you watch the miss yet? By the way, have you found it?
I just saw Lingard's goal. I'm watching all that.
Okay.
I just remember I saw just on my score app, and it was just like Manchester United upset. I was just like, upset by who? And I clicked on it, and I'm like, Astana. I'm like, who the fuck is Astana?
So Tahith Chong could have put the game to bed. Instead, 1-1, eventually 2-1. Then we go to this week. We were back at home since again we're at Aston Villa, and this was yesterday. Jack Grealish scores a worldie pretty early on, but we fight back again. We put ourselves in a winning position. We go up 2-1. Rashford scores a header. Rashford caused an own goal off Tom Heaton with his header. Lindelof scores a nice header. Oh, geez,
I just saw it. I'm so sorry. Oh, my God.
There you have it. Go watch the miss. You see what I mean?
That was horrible. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Okay. Again, up in the winning position with Aston Villa, and then within a minute of our second goal, Tyrone Mings, off sloppy defense, Williams is sleeping, off sloppy defense, gets a goal, and it goes 2-2. We can't get ourselves back in the game. I really am not a fan of the substitutions that were made by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He took off Williams, our left back, who I'm quite fond of, for Luke Shaw. In a game we need a goal, he took off a left back for another left back. He brought on Jesse Lingard for Mata, and he brought on Greenwood for Martial. All like-for-like changes. No change to what wasn't working. And I think the most infuriating part of this stretch is that all 3 games we were winning at one point. And yet still we didn't win any of those 3 games. And right now, 9th in the Premier League. We're only two points out of a Europa League spot, which is a little bit reassuring. But had your easy games, and now you have to play Tottenham at that one at home. Then you play Man City at the Etihad. And Tottenham are revitalized under Jose Mourinho. They've been conceding a few goals, but I feel like all their games have been 3-2 since Jose Mourinho came on. Let me just check that real quick. 3-2 against West Ham, 4-2 against Olympiacos, 3-2 against Bournemouth. So they're conceding goals, but they're scoring a lot. And our defense has been very shaky, so it worries me for that one. Also, Jose Mourinho tactical masterclass against his former team is just I can see the headlines already.
Yep.
Etihad, I am terrified of going to. And Man City fans, like my mother's a Man City fan. She's listening right now. I'm terrified of that game coming up. And it honestly pains me to talk about Man United in this way because we should be relishing the challenge to go beat the big clubs, like the other big clubs along with us. But it scares me having to go play this team. And that's a bad mentality to have, but it is a mentality I have.
I think it's a mentality amongst the players,
I'm not relishing the challenge like I should be as a Man United fan. And fortunately, we're in a decent spot still, 2 points out of the top 5, but it's not been good enough, and it needs to be better. I honestly think Pochettino's available.
I was about to ask you. They should go. Man, should they go for Poch?
Like a week ago, I got asked this, and I said, I feel like Solskjaer's been doing better. I feel like we give him time, but Pochettino is available.
Yes.
This is one of the best managers in Europe. I think any club in Europe would take him. Real Madrid,
100%.
Barcelona. He wouldn't go to Barcelona, but Real Madrid, Bayern, he would fit in right with these guys. But Man United, I really think they need to take advantage of this guy's situation.
They need to get in there, man. I think it would be it would fit them so nicely. And with Pochettino, given just the financial backing that Man U has to bring in the players that he wants as well. Yeah. He would make it.
I think he can do really good with Martial and Rashford. I think Daniel James as well, but we're way off on our players. Fred and Andreas Pereira as the pivot in midfield is
bad.
I'm finding it difficult to find the word for it, but I want to throw up when I watch them play together.
The word for it is it's a crisis.
Andreas Pereira does nothing at all. He does nothing on the field. Fred is so inconsistent, and he's consistently awful. He's awful. Mata doesn't really offer much anymore, and it saddens me to say because I love Juan Mata, but it doesn't really offer much. We need 2 midfielders because Pogba might leave. We need 2 midfielders to come in. I like McTominay a lot, but we need a 10, and we need a holding mid. By the way, on the note of the 10, Bruno Fernandes, who we said wouldn't be good enough for Man United in the summer because he gives the ball away too much, just got nominated for the FIFA World 11. And we decided he's not good enough. I honestly think...
I remember when you guys said that, or just... I don't know who was in Man United that decided not to go through with that purchase.
They had it... Apparently they had it ready to go, but they decided that he gives the ball away too much based on their analytics. He got nominated for the Ballon d'Or this year. He got nominated for Ballon d'Or. I'm pretty sure.
He's so good, man. If watching him with Sporting isn't good enough, and I understand why people don't think that's good enough, just watch him play with Portugal, man. He runs that team.
Okay, sorry. He didn't get nominated for Ballon d'Or, but he's got nominated for a midfield spot in the World 11.
He runs, like, you have Bernardo Silva, and of course you have Ronaldo, and those guys are great for Portugal, but the way Bruno Fernandes controls a midfield, man, is ridiculous. He's so nice, and it's just...
And he scores quite a bit from midfield. He's got a cannon of a shot.
He can play 10, or he can play in your pivot. Like, he can really shift around. He
has... We need a 10 desperately. Lingard and Mata are not good enough, and Andreas Pereira, I've said so many times how useless he is. Why not sign this guy? You had it ready to go.
Oh,
it's astonishing to me. Yeah, we need all we need a proper striker, like, because when Martial goes down, and he's like one of the most inconsistent players I've ever seen.
Yes,
we need a proper striker. We need another 6. I'm okay signing a 6 to play with McTominay, because I like McTominay. He's my favorite player on the team right now. He's captain material.
It's a lot of positive stuff around McTominay, yeah.
We need a 10. We could honestly do with a left back right now. But Brandon Williams playing well. I like Brandon Williams right now. Like, maybe even another center back, because...
You need another center back.
It's been shaky at the back. Like, there's so many pieces away right now. And I don't know. I don't think Solskjaer has a guy to turn around. Pochettino, like, Tottenham, right now, you look at them, they're one of the big 6. They Champions League every year. When Pochettino went to Tottenham, they were a mid-table team.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he brought them to. They are, like, expecting Champions League football every season, and they were in the Champions League final last year.
It's just, if you look at what Pochettino's done throughout his whole career, when he went to Southampton, he turned them into a great team. As soon as he's left, Southampton's been horrible ever since.
Awful
they've not been good, like, especially now.
What a team they had. They were a Europa League team in and out, like... What a great team that
exactly.
That was. Like,
and then he goes to Tottenham and just, again, turns them into a consistent top 4 team, if not fighting for the EPL title with Man City the one year, like,
and Leicester the other year.
It's crazy. Champions League final, like, come on, like, how do you not bring in a guy like that who has the experience? Who's, like, certain managers have shown that they work well in certain leagues. Pochettino has literally shown.
Yeah,
how well he works.
His kind of philosophy demands high amount of fitness, which caters to the Premier League very well. Like, his players are in peak physical condition.
Yes,
and if he whips up some United guys into proper shape, gets the right attitude, he could turn. I think he could turn United around back into a bit of a force. And I think with financial backing, because I know we got financial backing with Tottenham this summer, but what I've read is that they weren't his players. Daniel Levy just kind of bought the players that he saw fit, but Pochettino didn't want these kind of players, like maybe like a Giovanni Lo Celso. Like, as good as he is, they weren't the guys that he wanted. So I think Ed Woodward probably won't back him, but I think to a better degree he will back him. We're a profitable team. We can give him money. I think Pochettino's the way to go in the future. And Crisis Club, Man United. It's so sad watching them right now. I rarely ever kind of tweet about Man United, but I tweeted during the game yesterday. I said, this game hurts to watch. Because it hurt me watching that game. It pained me. But that's it. I could go on United forever. No more. That'll wrap up this episode. Thank you, Nico, for being on the Crisis Club Monday episode. I know you had a great time. You've been wanting to be on.
I've always wanted to be a Crisis Club Monday.
As usual, daily content on the way. Let us know if there's any other teams that you thought could have been a Crisis Club, because there are others like the San Antonio Spurs, but we haven't talked about them again. But let us know who you think we're a Crisis Club. Let us know if you think Pochettino should go to Man United, and we'll see you again soon.